Yo, 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 welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we got a few things we need to talk about, but before we get started, could you please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man? You already know. So, jersey giveaway, man, I'm going to do that this Friday, probably around like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm going to go live. I'm going to just need you just to, well, first off, you have to be subscribed to the channel. And then secondly, you have to be in the live around 6:37 and just enter, like, maybe giveaway, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna take the names and then I'm gonna put them in the wheel and then go from there. So so just stay tuned for that. I'll probably be making some more announcements throughout the week with that, so I can bring it to everybody's attention. So but I do appreciate y'all rocking with me, man, because I've been trying to get this jersey away for probably about a month now, and it has been the hardest thing ever, man. So with that being said, though, let's just roll into what we need to roll into. I don't want to hold y'all too long. Also, I wanted to say, if you haven't watched or if you haven't heard, me and my man Reggie Barnes, we just started a Mean Green podcast, a joint podcast talking about the Eagles specifically, but we're also going to be talking about some other things. But as of right now, we will be concentrating on the Eagles. And we had our second episode yesterday. It's posted on my channel, so if you didn't get a chance to watch that, please go support. Also, if you could, go to subscribe and Bet On Yourself Sports. That's my man Reggie channel. And I'm sorry, there's a squirrel out here acting crazy. But so go subscribe to his channel, and I would greatly appreciate that. So let's move into what we need to move into, man. Some things we need to talk about. I know I'm probably gonna be all over the place, man. I'm writing notes down, but then I just go off onto these little tangents. But just rock with your boy, man. So let's just start off today with a few things that I want to bring to your attention, and I'll just get into what else I need to talk about. Right. So the first thing I want to talk about is James Bradberry was in mini camp today. Everybody had to be there. I think Lane Dickerson was the only person that wasn't there, and he has an excuse for for the reasoning for not being there. So with that being said, he wasn't there today, but James Bradberry was there in attendance. And it's very interesting because they had the press conferences where different players and people talk. But Coach Sirianni went, right, and he's another guy we need to talk about. But my thing is this, right? He spoke to the fact that James Bradberry would be taking snaps at the safety position, right? So I guess he's going to be going back and forth between cornerback and safety. And when I first heard it, I ain't going to lie to you, I kind of liked it for the simple fact that, well, one, I mean, they can cut him. They could cut him if they wanted to, because it's past June 1st, so they could cut him if they wanted. But if you remember, Howie Roseman had said before in the press conference that he was in their plans. So I didn't know what that meant at the time, but now I guess this is what they meant. So, excuse me. So he is going to be taking snaps at the safety. If you don't know, Avonte Maddox has also been taking snaps at the safety, but that just lets me kind of know that James Bradberry maybe he did just regress last year. Maybe he is not as fast as he used to be, or things happen. Like, he is an older player. He's 31 and or 30, 31. I don't want to age my man, but if I'm not mistaken, he's 31. And when as the human body gets older, it starts to break down, and you lose some of that talent that you used to have. So with playing the safety position, you don't have to be as fast. You don't got to be Quinyon Mitchell fast to play the safety. I mean, that helps, but at the same time, this will give him an opportunity to, one, add depth to the Eagles, two, hopefully have a bounce back, because I also felt like it was a mental thing, because you got to think we were 3 points away from winning the Super Bowl. If we get that stop and not that call, and I'm not even going to sit there and say like Bradberry's at fault, because my thing is, this is football, man. Things happen, but at the same time, I think that played a part in his downward gameplay, because I just felt like that was always on his mind after that. So hopefully, him playing alongside CJ, get his attitude back, because I know CJ, CJ, he a different type of dude. Like, he with the smoke. So hopefully he get James Bradberry back to where he need to be. If it's playing cornerback, if it's playing safety, like I said before, I would like to see James Bradberry have a chance to redeem himself this season. But I do understand the business. If something goes, where they feel as though they can get rid of him, I understand that too. But like I said, I hope they do, try to give him a chance to redeem himself. But if he does become a liability, you already know what's going to happen. So, but then also we're talking about James Bradberry. So he was at practice today, right? And he ended up going into the tent. But when he came out the tent, he didn't have his helmet on. And then they said he watched the practice for the rest of the day. So I don't know what's exactly wrong with him. I hope nothing serious, because that would also be kind of crazy as well. Because you know what I mean. Like my man already having a tough time, with what's been going on with him, and if he can't even get out on the field to do what he need to do, that's going to be a hindrance. So, hopefully something come out soon. I haven't got a chance to look, but I did see that before I hopped on here, so I figured I'd give you all that news, right? Staying with the cornerbacks, right? Darius Slay had made a tweet saying that cornerback 1 should make around 30 to 35 million or something like that, and cornerback 2 should make like somewhere like they should top off at 17 mil. And I'm like, well, why would he put that out? And then people were in the comments sitting there talking about, does he want more money, this, that, and the third? And he just said it was a personal opinion, but Bradberry be playing and things like that. But I'm hoping he's playing, because with what the Eagles just did in the draft, we're getting Quinyon Mitchell and getting Coupe DeVille. I don't see nobody. I don't see them trying to pay either one of those guys. And when I say either one, is Darius Slay and Bradberry. I think Bradberry's going to, whatever happens with him, it's going to happen with him. Either he plays his contract out or he gets traded. And then Darius Slay, this is his last year guaranteed money, so he probably will be moving on unless he takes less money to stay on the team. So they have too many talented cornerbacks now in the room. I'm hoping that they still so I ain't gonna think that's gonna stop them from teaching those young guys, because they said they've been soaking everything up like sponges and been performing well in camp. So that was also good to hear. But I just thought that was crazy that he tweeted that. So it is what it is, man. Everybody got an opinion, but hopefully they ain't that don't become a problem going into this year. So but yeah, man, let's move on, man. But yeah, so yesterday they also had defensive position coaches speak, and today they had some of the players speak. Zach Bond and who was it? Zach Bond, Bryce Huff. I'm trying to go off the top. Lane. I can't even think of Lane's first name. Lane last name. Lane Johnson. Excuse me. And Nick Sirianni spoke. I don't think I'm missing anybody, and if I am, I do apologize. Oh, Avonte Maddox spoke as well. But if I am missing somebody, I do apologize. And I'm probably gonna be just bouncing back and forth between the defense and the offense. I mean the defense and the players that spoke today. Excuse me. So just please bear with me, because I'll go off into my tangents. But that's why I want to do it like this, because I'm trying to connect what they said yesterday to what some of the players said today. So, but yesterday you had the defensive position coaches speak. And Clint Hurst spoke, so I'll start off with him. And I think his interview stuck out the most to me, for the simple fact that I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not familiar with Clint Hurst. I wasn't familiar with him until he got here. You know what I mean? And but when they told me he was coming, how you see a picture of somebody, and you like, yo, like, you know what? That's not the type of dude you what I'm saying you want to play with, right? And yeah, so he get here, he do his, he go up there, he do his press conference. My man looked like he can go out there and strap a helmet on right now. That's how big this guy is. Like, it's crazy. But when I seen that, I'm like, bro, he is not coming here and playing with none of these players, but especially Jordan Davis, right? So they had asked Clint why he wanted to come here first and foremost, but he said he wanted to go to an organization that had a winning culture, and I'm paraphrasing this, I don't got it in front of me, but he wanted to go somewhere with a winning culture that was always bringing in good talent and was aggressively trying to win championships. I think he said championships. Don't quote me, but I do think he said championships. And when I heard that, that was all I needed to hear. But then he even went on to put the icing on the top for your boy. Like, I'm sitting here listening to what he's saying. First off, he said and I'm glad he said this, because people always tell me, like, you get kind of aggressive sometimes, and I understand what they're saying, but you still have to in life to get. I'm not saying to get what you want, but you got to have some type of aggression. That's why I called it the dog mentality, because people be like, I don't got it in me. You do got it in you. You just don't. You just let the puppy come out. instead of the dog coming out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta raise that puppy up into a dog. You feel what I'm saying? So when Clint was talking, he was sitting there talking about how different players, you coach players differently, but everybody has that and I just call it the dog mentality, because you want to be, you know what I'm saying? You want to be able to go out here. You see what Jalen Carter do, right? You know what I'm saying? When he performs. Jordan Davis, he's a little bit lean back, but he still got the dog in him. You feel what I'm saying? He's like a silent dog, but he still got that aggression in him. But with having that aggression, he said you still have to be smart with the aggression. And that's where people be getting it mixed up. You can still be aggressive, but you got to know when to utilize it. And that's what he was sitting there saying. There's ways of telling, when you line up on a line, formation, where players are set up at and things like that. That's what he was speaking to detail-wise. He said you can already know what's going on prior to the snap of the ball. So that was something else I liked hearing, because details matter. I always say this. If y'all remember, like Jason Kelce, last year, I forget what game it was. He had like 3 penalties back to back to back. That matters. That matters in a game. You want to make sure that you're on point at all times. You want to make sure you know where you need to be or where players need to be. You feel what I'm saying? You need to know what your responsibility is. Is it hitting the gap? Is it whatever? Like, you need to know what is going on. So I feel like especially with these younger players, and he also spoke to this fact with Jordan Davis and the line and Jordan. I keep saying Jordan, but Jalen Carter being so young, they are still they're easier to mold than trying to get an older player and bring him in and try to show him all this stuff. But I'm glad he said that. He also spoke to the fact that Jalen Carter, if you remember, he was with the not Jalen Carter, but Clint Hurtt was with the Seahawks this last season, and they were also scouting Jalen Carter. So he said he got some time to get to know him, talk to him, and things like that. He thinks he possesses a great talent, and he said he can't wait, or he's been enjoying getting to coach him. So that was great to hear. He spoke about Jordan Davis being able to play all 4 downs, which is great, because I think Jordan Davis is going to be very key to this defense this year. He is the veteran now. There is no run into Fletch or whoever the case may be. You still got BG too, which is good, but he said he's putting a lot on Jordan, Jalen Carter too, and a lot of those other guys on that line. So that was very, very good to hear, man. And I'm telling you, man, like I said, his interview just stuck out so much from the different things that he was saying. I'm like, bro, I know he is not playing with these dudes. And I had said that before, he even came here. So it's just good to hear that echoed in his press conference. I think Clint's going to be a great addition to this team on the defensive side of the ball. Moving on to Bobby King, he also spoke. Now I thought Bobby King had a relationship with Vic Fangio, but he said that him and Nick used to coach with the Chargers, so that was news to me. Like I said, I'm still a fan, man. I'm learning things, just like y'all are. So, but yeah, he said he coached out there with the Chargers, so that's how he ended up getting a call from Nick, and he was like, yeah, he came here, so But he was another coach that also echoed the details, knowing where to be. He spoke to how well that Zach Bond's been playing. So I'm thinking if you asking me, it's going to be Zach Bond and Devin White starting at the linebacker position, which I have no problem with. I don't know if I said it in the video before, because this has probably been some months ago, but I was saying, like, and I'm not saying that this is what Howie's doing. I mean, but probably all coaches and GMs probably do all this. You look at teams that are winning teams, right, and how they can consistently win, right? So when you look at the 49ers and their linebacker play, you got to think they have a linebacker that's I think Fred Warner's 6'3", Zach Bond's 6'3", okay, and then they got a I don't know what is the inside outside, but which one they play. But my thing is this. They have the other linebacker at 6 foot, something like that, which would be like your Devin White. So I'm like, all right, they got to do something or to recreate something like that. So then you go out here and go get Jeremiah Trotter, who's a 6 foot. Zach Bond's pretty young, Devin White's pretty young. So there, I feel like that's the players that you're looking for to play that type, to play that type of, and I don't want to say that type of defense, but those are the prototypical linebackers that you're looking to have on your team. That's what I'm trying to say. So it seems like even with the addition of Saquon, I felt like, I'm like, dang, that's kind of like Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. So, and then you go out here and go get Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, his offense kind of reminds me of a Kyle Shanahan or like a Sean McVay or something like that. So, but just with his own tweaks, of course. I'm not saying it's the same, but they got their own similarities, but they also got their own differences. But I feel like it's more of that type of style. So but yeah, but just that being said, they spoke about so like I said, they're talking about them two starting, but it was just like I said, Bobby King just to me, like I said, was just another coach that was, and I know I got off on a tangent right there. I do apologize, but was just another coach that just seemed to be like, yo, I'm not, we're not here to play no games, man. We're really here to, we're trying to win a championship. So that's just being echoed. Even with Christian Parker, the defensive backs coach, and they had asked him a few things. But my thing with him was they had asked him, about. I mean, I said that he had asked him about James Bradberry, but he was just talking about why they had asked him first and foremost why why did you want to stay with Vic or come under Vic? And he said they feel like they see the game from the same view, similar attitudes to the game and things like that, and just saying communication would be a big thing on that secondary. You feel what I'm saying? Because I felt like there really wasn't. I mean, and if they were communicating, maybe they were, but I just felt like nobody understood what they were supposed to do in that secondary last year. And then they switched coaches. Middle of the year, a little after the middle of the year, and it was just so much confusion going on. I felt like, so this year he was talking about just having that communication, being in the right position, knowing what to look for. He was saying how the safety's job is a little easier, if the cornerbacks, do their job and stuff like that. So just good things to hear, you know what I mean? And that could probably be another reason why, like I said, why, James Bradberry's moving to the safety position, because maybe he's just lost a step. And you got these younger guys in here, you don't want to, not to get put to shame, but my thing is you want to make sure you keep your job. So you're going to do whatever is, necessary for you to stay on the team. So, yeah, man. So, but then they also talked to Doug. And I think Doug is another interview when he did his presser that stuck out to me, because if you look in the videos, right, of some of the OTAs where the media could get into, you can see Doug showing Jalen Hurts certain things and stuff like that, right? So then they had asked, and I don't know if Doug said it or not, 'cause I didn't even rewind it to even hear if he did say it, but they had said that Doug said something about the end of last year when he were talking about Jalen Hurts. And they were like, well, is that still on Jalen Hurts' mind? And he was like, whoa, no, that's not what I said. Like, I guess he was trying to spin it. But then he just spoke to the fact that he was like, Jalen wants to know all the answers to the questions, which is and that's great, because my thing is this: we already hear about Jalen Hurts and how he is, like how he is as a person. He leads by example, not very vocal. They talk about the man's aura and stuff like that, which is I pretty much can believe, bro. So, but he just spoke to the fact that he wants to keep getting better. He wants to keep learning. He doesn't have a problem with tough coaching. He's like, and I know Doug said, everybody gets coached differently, or takes the coaching differently. But he said that, Jalen wants to be coached hard. He wants to be better. And and to me, that you can't ask for nothing better than that. I know a lot of people don't give Jalen his credit, and that's all good and dandy. I do feel like this year, and I feel like my whole thing with this is I feel like if you give Jalen consistency with the offense or whoever his quarter, if Kellen Moore is going to stay here for 3 years, you will see a great Jalen Hurts, is what I'm gonna say to you. Or if he becomes a head coach, who knows? I ain't even gonna talk about that. But my thing is this: if you get Kellen Moore here 2-3 years, you're going to see something from Jalen Hurts that we've seen from 2022, if not better, because the young man likes to get. He wants to be better, and I think Doug gonna get him there, man. Because I seen what he did with Dak, and no disrespect, I'm not sitting there saying Dak is better than or anywhere close to Jalen Hurts, but I think something that sets Jalen Hurts apart from those other quarterbacks is his mental mindset, and that's, like I said, something else that they echoed in these pressers. They want to be able to put as much as they can on these players, but then also mentally understand where they need to be. You got to be able to comprehend, the plays and stuff like that. Not that I'm saying anybody's slow, but you gotta comprehend this stuff. You gotta know this stuff, and you gotta keep beating it. Pause, but you know what I'm saying. So just hearing Doug say that about Jalen Hurts and how they're implementing the middle of the field and just stuff like that we weren't doing last year. So and you're going to have mistakes. My fault, I'm moving my camera. You're going to have mistakes. I think Jalen Hurts threw a pick today, but I don't want to say he threw a pick, but he was throwing a pass and it got tapped up or hit up. But they said it wasn't a good pass. Well, it wasn't the greatest pass, I say. And so he threw an interception today. But overall, they said he wasn't bad, but he didn't do that bad. So my thing is, it's still early. They're learning a new offense. I'm really not trying to take. I'm not taking too much from this. Now, if I say, preseason, I see some or training camp, is becoming a consistent thing popping up, then I'll be like, all right, we need to look into this a little bit. But right now, I don't really have no problems with Jalen Hurts. I have no problems with Devontae. He was there today. Devontae gave a presser today, too. I know I'm all over the place, man. We 20 minutes in, but we here. But he did a presser today, too, and he was talking about, he wasn't here and stuff like that. But he said that he kept constant contact with A.J. Brown in the organization. He said him and A.J. talked every day, and A.J. would call him and tell him what he liked and what he didn't like. So I was like, okay, I like that. I like that A.J.'s taking that leadership role because they said he was at damn near every practice, OTAs and all that. So trying to get these guys right. But he said that they talked a lot. They also asked Devontae Smith about how he felt about, these other players getting their deals, and he just said it was a blessing just to be able to even get the deal that he got. And I always say this, like, they always try to make it more than what it needs to be. Like, yeah, maybe Devontae could have went somewhere else and got money, but Devontae said he wanted to be here. He said the Eagles organization takes care of you. There's no more that needs to be said after that. Because my thing is this, yeah, you might be going to go get a bag, but are you going to have a chance to win a championship with the team that those players have? And I'm not saying they can't, but it's not too many other places where he's going to go where he's going to be able to get this type of money and still have the talent like a A.J. Brown, a Saquon, a Jalen Hurts, and things like that around him. You know what I mean? You need that to win in this league. Like I know people always say, I know I'm going off on a little tangent. Why Jalen Hurts need all this help? Like I just like they put out players every year. I said this every year that they got talent. So sooner or later, it's like, yo, you're gonna have to have a team somewhat constructed like this to even try to make a run to a Super Bowl. So yeah, man. So it was just good to hear Devontae say he wanted to be here. He also said that he liked the offense as well. That was key. I forgot all about this. That was key to me because, as y'all know, and he also said that they were able to do certain things that they weren't able to do last year. And we can already chuck this up to motion and whatever else. So my thing is, we knew that it was a very vanilla offense last year, but with this offense that Kellen Moore is implementing, like I said, we should see like a 2022 type of season, but probably on steroids, because I've been watching a lot of Kellen Moore. No, I'm not no film buff, nothing like that, but since I started my podcast, I've been watching a lot more like film on Vic's schemes. I've been watching a lot of film on Kellen Moore's schemes, and the players that they have, I'm like, bro, I cannot even just wait to see what they're going to do with these players. So, yeah, man. So, excuse me. So it was a lot of good things that was, like I said, that was echoed that I liked that I was happy to hear about, and I just think going into this season, I just think that they really are taking heed, because that's the biggest thing. You really got to buy into what these coaches are saying, and the whole thing with Vic Fangio and the Miami Dolphins saying the type of person that he is. I don't think that's having any bearing on how they feel about him here in Philadelphia. Even like I said, with the coaching, the position coaches on the defensive side of the ball, and then I forgot Doug's on the offensive side. My fault, but yeah, man. But I'm so sorry. That's why I didn't write nothing down. But I'm just going off the top. But they also had Jeff Stoutland talk yesterday, and I'm glad I'm still recording. I know we getting kind of long, but Jeff Stoutland also talked about, which was also something that stuck out to me. I caught because his interview came up way later. I think I seen it. This is way after I watched the live one. So, but Jeff Stoutland talked about was it Tyler Steen? Tyler Steen compared him to Brandon Brooks, which I really, really like to hear, because I think Tyler Steen is going to get a lot. He's going to have a lot of responsibility this year, and he also spoke to the fact that I don't know if it was I want to say it's the offensive line that he was talking about. He called it 5-wood drive, where he said he wanted the same 5 guys out there every down. And I'm like, okay, so maybe they don't want to do the rotation thing, unless they have to. Yeah, man, I'm like, wait, what? I'm thinking maybe they want to, because I know they had and please forgive me if I heard that wrong, but I swore he said the offensive side of the ball, because I thought Mekhi Becton was coming in here to play, because he can kind of play a couple of different positions on that line. But I thought they were bringing Mekhi in here, of course, for depth, but I thought they were bringing him in here so he can, swing in and out for, certain players. So I don't know exactly if that's going to be the case. But they said Mekhi's been having a great training camp as well. So that's also good to hear, man. But it's been a lot of good things echoed. Like I said, John Ross is another player that we have to keep our eye on. They said he's been having a good camp. I think he got targeted today too as well. I didn't even talk about none of that, but yeah, he got targeted today as well. AJ Brown and Devontae got targeted a lot by Jalen Hurts. So it's a lot of different things that we should be looking forward to coming this training or this mini camp, and hopefully training camp. Hopefully they're I know they can only work the players to a certain point, but I really do hope that they're taking these practices a lot more serious this year, and and I already know they are, because like I said, they echoed that in the press conferences multiple times. Multiple coaches said that. They said they wish they could have 2-a-days. They said they don't. They even had said, Clint Hurt even went as far as saying that he had talked to other coaches. I think it was Clint, but he was like, how they do the load management now. He's like, back in the day they didn't do that. They had 2-a-day practices in high school and stuff like that. And I remember them. I wasn't on the team, but I remember because my boys played. But they had 2-a-days in high school, and I only graduated maybe about 13 years ago, so it ain't that far removed. So I do remember that. But now they want to load manage guys and stuff like that. And I can understand, some players are more prone to injury than others, but back in the day, you just had to play, man. That's how you got better. The more you worked, the more you did what you had to do, the better you got. And that's kind of the mentality that I got. I know these ain't the best videos, but I know every time I put another video out, I do think it's a little bit better than the last one. Maybe if it's only 1%, but if I make 100 of these mofos, that's going to be 100% better. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the type of mentality that these guys gotta have, man. Especially these younger guys coming in, taking it one step at a time. But like I said, there are players that are gaining traction. They're getting an understanding quicker than some other players. So that's just always good to hear, man. And like I said, I do think with the addition of these coaches, man, we're going to see a whole 180 with this team. I don't think we'll see that fall off that we had last year, and hopefully, like I said, that was echoed as well. Championships. So I hope we can get back to a Super Bowl and just win it this time, man. But I do think, and I will say this, I'll go on record saying this, I think 3 Super Bowls is not nothing to I think 3 is a good number to throw out there. If they come a little short, that's fine, but they at least got to get 1 Super Bowl out of this team, man. But if they can get 3, that's all right with me, man. So I want to make sure I'm not forgetting nothing, because like I said, I didn't write none of this stuff down, man. I just been watching the tweets and stuff like that. And I also want to say this too, right? Anthony DeBono, I want to make sure I say his name right. He sometimes responds to me on X, which I do appreciate, because I ain't nobody. But my thing is this: he had posted something today talking about Hassan Reddick. Now Hassan is playing out his last year's deal. Which I don't know why he couldn't stay here, but he's playing out that last year deal of his deal and with the Jets. But he hasn't reported to any of the practices, camp, and he has been looking for a new contract. Now I don't know how true it is, but I think I do remember seeing that the Jets weren't trying to offer him a contract. So with him missing those practices and stuff like that, he's already lost. I think it was his $250,000 or $750,000. Something like that. I do apologize for not having this, but he lost some money. So my thing is this: I feel like something's going on, bro. Cause like I'm like, well, why couldn't he just stay? Why didn't he just stay here then? You feel what I'm saying? Like, why didn't Howie just keep him on the roster if he had a year left? So who knows, man? And then Howie said that, you know, we didn't know all what was going on. And then Hassan also said that, you know, it wasn't because of his performance for the reason of him leaving. But I do know that it came out that he wanted to stay at Eagle. So maybe some which way or form they can get Hassan back. Maybe not this year. I don't know how that works, man, because I'm not into the contracts and stuff like that. But I know under his current contract, which is with the Eagles, you know what I mean. But yes, he's traded. I understand that for, you know, whatever. But my thing is this: he still had that 1 year left with the Eagles. If it run out, okay, whatever the case may be, maybe he come back next year. I don't know, man. You never know. So, but if y'all got any information or anything like that for me, please drop it into the comments. I know I done held y'all for these last 30 minutes, but I greatly do appreciate y'all that do watch and do a comment and subscribe. It really do mean the world to me. So with that being said, it's Nah from No Cut Sports, and y'all already know, man. Go Birds. I'ma holla at y'all. Y'all be safe.